law is black and white, and wisdom is kind of situation by situation. But now we have to combine the two of them. We have to actually look at the two of them together. You might not know this, but the laws in the Quran, the one law in the Quran that is talked about in more detail than any other law, and I'm not talking about worship, I'm talking about a law that has people's dealings, mu'amalat. The most detailed law in the Quran is divorce. There's no law that Allah talks about in more detail in the entire Quran than He does about divorce. If somebody asks the question, what does the Quran say about a happy marriage? There's like 2 ayahs. And then if you ask, what's the Quran say about divorce? There are several pages and then a surah on top of that and then other references. Why? And the Quran is silent on relationship advice. Except very little. This is the ayah of Surah Al-Rum, is the ayah some little bit of hints in the ayat of Ramadan. There's bits and pieces here and there. But the majority, when you talk about divorce, oh my God. You know why? It's as if, and here's the principle, وَيُعَلِّمُكُمْ مَا لَمْ تَكُونُوا تَعْلَمُونَ. Allah teaches you what you couldn't possibly learn yourself or know yourself. Which means Allah knows that you know how to have a good relationship. You don't need some outside help to figure out how to have a good marriage. But what you don't know how to do is to have a peaceful divorce. That you don't know. You know how to keep things good, but you don't know how to handle the situation when things go bad. That you couldn't figure out yourself. There, I will give you exhaustive explanation. And so Allah gives exhaustive explanation about what should happen when somebody's getting divorced. And the thing is, these are, you can call them the laws of divorce. So this part of the Quran is kitab, isn't it? It's kitab. We're going to look at a little bit of that. I mean, we can't go through all of that because it's huge. It's a very big subject. But I'm going to show you just one small sampling of it. At-talaqu marratan. This is not a full-on tafsir, it's very brief commentary, okay? When a man and a woman are married, then a man can pronounce his divorce and still be able to take her back twice. That can happen at 2 occasions, 2 separate occasions. Nowadays, people have made a joke out of this and said, what you gonna do now? And then 2 hours later, I didn't mean it. It didn't count. Let's go find a mufti. Right? Because we made a joke out of by the way, isn't that making the ayat of Allah a joke? It is, right? And you know what's even crazier? I don't know if this is just Pakistanis or what, but a lot of people have told me, oh, it doesn't count unless you say it 3 times. Who told you that? What book are you reading? Are you learning Islam from a comic book? This is psychosis. Allah says reversible divorce can happen on 2 occasions. You can end the marriage, that it's still reversible on 2 occasions. Then He says, listen carefully, فَإِمْسَاكٌ بِمَعْرُوفٍ. Then after that happens, any one of those, He says, I divorce you, and then he thinks about it, they think about it, they talk about it, and He says, you know what, let's try again. He says, then take back, hold on to the marriage, but hold on to it with decency. Hold on to it with dignity, with goodness. Now, holding on to it with goodness, let me ask you, does that sound like law or wisdom? Immediately after the law, Allah switched over to what? Wisdom. Because I cannot check if I'm taking back for good intention, in a good way or not. That's not something the law can judge. Not directly. أو تسريح بإحسان, or let go beautifully. He says, let go what? Beautifully. Quran is saying that. Quran is saying that. You know, when divorce happens, it gets really ugly, right? And now Allah is telling you, listen, you don't know how to handle the situation. I'm telling you, do everything you can to let go in a way that is beautiful. And what happens a lot of times is one person fears Allah and says, I want to let go in a way that's beautiful. The other one says, let me see how I'll show you beautiful. Right? أو تسريح بإحسان. Then he says, وَلَا يَحِلُّ لَكُمْ أَن تَأْخُذُوا مِمَّا آتَيْتُمُوهُنَّ شَيْئًا. It is not, knowledge talking to the men. He says it's not halal for you. You're not allowed to take anything back that you gave to them. If you gave her a car, if you gave her a ring, if you gave her a necklace, if you bought her a PS5, right? Because you bought yourself a PS5 for Eid, but you said this is your Eid present. So officially you made it her Eid present. I'm just playing it so it doesn't go kharab, I'm just keeping it. If you gave it to her, Allah says it's not halal for you to take back anything that you had given to them. Okay? Then, إِلَّا أَن يَخَافَا أَن لَا يُقِيمَا حُدُودَ اللَّهِ, unless they're both scared that they're not going to be able to abide by the laws of Allah. This is going to be a longer discussion, so I won't go into details here. فَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَن لَا يُقِيمَا حُدُودَ اللَّهِ, and if you're afraid that they both cannot abide by the law of Allah, فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِمَا فِي مَفْدَدَتْ بِهِ, then there's no harm on either of them if she gives up some part of what she owed. Basically, the bottom line here, I'm being very brief here for now, is she wants to end the marriage, for example, but he doesn't want to let go. And she says, you know what? Keep the PS5. Can you just let me go? I don't want to stay. Just keep the PS5. Allah says there's no harm if she gives up something that's actually hers, but she says maybe that'll make the departure easy for me. Okay? So she's kind of almost like paying a ransom in this situation, a little bit. So he says, he's not making her do it, but he's saying if that's what gets you away from the situation, it's no harm if you try to do that. That's halal for you. Because he already said it's not halal to take anything, right? But now he says, by the way, but if you think giving something up will let him go easy, then just do that. Okay? فِيمَا افْتَدَتْ بِهِ تِلْكَ حُدُودُ اللَّهِ فَلَا تَعْتَدُوهَا. Those are the limits set by Allah. Don't cross them. وَمَنْ يَتَعَدَّ حُدُودَ اللَّهِ, and whoever crosses the limits set by Allah, فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ, then those are the people that have done wrong. Now, فَإِنْ طَلَّقَهَا, but if a third time he divorced her again. So two have already been mentioned. This is which time? Third time. فَلَا تَحِلُّ لَهُ مِنْ بَعْدُ, she is no longer permissible for him. They can't be together immediately. That's not possible. مِنْ بَعْدُ, thereafter. حَتَّى تَنْكِحَ زَوْجًا غَيْرَهُ, until she gets married to someone other than him. So she can't be with him anymore. Zubair is done. Sorry, Zubair is just an example. Zubair is done. She moved on with her life. 5 months later, she got married to Kareem. Sorry, Kareem. Okay. And then she married Kareem, and Kareem turned out that he likes Xbox. He doesn't like the PS5. Something happened. It didn't work out. And now she got divorced again. Okay. Now she got divorced, and she sent a text message to Zubair and said, hey, what you doing? And Zubair says, why are you texting? Aren't you married? No, not anymore. So Zubair says, okay, let's try this again. Then it's okay. It's okay for you to go back to him if you got married to someone else and then it didn't work out, for a lady that's being told. Otherwise, the man is not allowed. By the way, what could be the wisdom? What's the hikmah behind that? Well, if a man says to a woman, I don't want you, I divorce you. Okay, I didn't mean it. So she comes back 2 months later. You think I want you? I don't want you. Get out of here. Kicks her out again. Then takes her back. The third time, you don't get to yo-yo with this woman. The third time, it's done. Now you must experience the pain of knowing that she was with someone else because you didn't value her. So if you really want her back, Allah is going to have her live her life. And if that doesn't work out and she still wants you, decides that she wants you back, then maybe you can get back together. Otherwise, you guys are done.